600 BCE, off the coast of Iberia, a Phoenician captain stares west, past the Pillars of Hercules, into water no map has ever named. His crew huddles below deck, whispering. Some refuse to row another mile. They call this water the edge of the world. He's heard the stories his whole life. Serpents in the deep, boiling water, ships that sail out and simply never come back. Tonight, he'll decide whether to turn back or keep going. Behind that decision sits humanity's oldest, deepest fear, the open sea. So why did nearly every ancient culture treat the ocean like a monster waiting to happen? Let's start with the water itself. Picture standing at a shoreline 5,000 years ago. Past the waves, there's nothing. No bottom you can see, no edge you can trust. It's the kitchen table version of walking into a pitch-black room. You don't know what's 3 feet away, so your brain assumes the worst. The ocean wasn't scenery. It was the biggest unsolved mystery on the planet, and unsolved mysteries always get filled with monsters. So what did ancient people actually imagine was down there? Let's go back to one of the very first written stories on Earth. In ancient Mesopotamia, nearly 4,000 years ago, priests told a story about a goddess named Tiamat, the personification of the sea itself. Tiamat wasn't gentle. She was raw, saltwater chaos, a primordial force who birthed monsters and nearly drowned the world in disorder. In the myth, the god Marduk defeats her and splits her body in two. One half becomes the sky, the other, the sea. Think about that. In one of humanity's oldest written stories, the ocean isn't just dangerous. It's the raw material chaos is made of. Fear of the sea isn't a footnote in ancient religion. In Mesopotamia, it was practically the whole plot, and Mesopotamia wasn't alone. Almost every early civilization near open water told some version of the same terrified story. If you're the kind of person who likes finding the real history behind old fears, go ahead and hit subscribe. More of this is coming. Now fast forward a bit to a culture that turned ocean fear into some of the most famous stories ever told, ancient Greece. Picture a Greek sailor navigating the Strait of Messina, squeezed between two impossible dangers on either side of his ship. On one side, Scylla, a six-headed monster living in a cliffside cave, snatching sailors straight off the deck. On the other, Charybdis, a whirlpool goddess who swallows the sea itself 3 times a day, dragging entire ships under. That's where we get the phrase, between a rock and a hard place. Sailors facing 2 ways to die, no safe path. Then there's Poseidon himself, a god so associated with the sea's temper that entire epics are built around surviving his anger. The Greeks didn't fear the ocean because they were superstitious. They feared it because the ocean kept giving them reasons to. Here's the part they don't teach you. These myths weren't random. They were mapped onto real, documented shipwreck zones. The Strait of Messina really does have violent currents and unpredictable whirlpools, strong enough to spin small ships off course. Jump forward 1,000 years to medieval European mapmakers, and the fear hadn't gone anywhere. It just got drawn in ink. Cartographers filled blank ocean space with sea serpents, krakens, and warnings, a visual shorthand for, "We genuinely do not know." That's the real origin of "Here be dragons," not decoration, but an honest admission that no one had come back to report. And without a magnetic compass, sailors before roughly 1000 CE navigated almost entirely by memorized coastlines, stars, and educated guesswork. Lose sight of land, lose the stars behind clouds for a few days, and you could drift for weeks with no way back. Out on open water, one wrong guess wasn't embarrassing. It was fatal. That's the fear talking, and it was completely rational. So what changed? How did anyone actually cross an ocean like this on purpose, with no compass and no map at all? Around the same centuries, these fears were being carved into myths. One culture was doing the opposite, sailing straight into the unknown. Starting over 3,000 years ago, Polynesian voyagers set out across the Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on Earth. We're talking thousands of miles between islands, across open water, with zero written maps and zero metal instruments. Their solution was a mental star compass, memorizing exactly where more than 200 stars rise and set on the horizon. Picture memorizing every street lamp on a route home in the dark, so precisely you could walk it blind. That's the star compass. They also read ocean swells like a second language, feeling how waves bounced off unseen islands from dozens of miles away. Certain birds, like frigate birds, never sleep on water. Spotting one meant land was close, even if you couldn't see it yet. Where one culture saw the ocean as a wall of monsters, another read it as a map written in waves and wing beats. Using nothing but this knowledge, Polynesian navigators settled islands from Hawaii to New Zealand to Easter Island, thousands of miles apart. This wasn't luck. Modern reconstructed voyages, sailing the exact same way, have proven these techniques genuinely work across open ocean. The ocean these navigators crossed is the same ocean that terrified sailors half a world away. The difference wasn't the water, it was the knowledge. And that's really the whole story here, isn't it? Fear filling in the space where understanding hasn't arrived yet. Every here be dragons, every chaos goddess, every whirlpool monster was really just a placeholder for information nobody had yet. So go back to that Phoenician captain, gripping the rail off the coast of Iberia, staring west into the unknown Atlantic. He wasn't wrong to be afraid. He was missing information. The same information Polynesian navigators, an ocean away, already carried in their heads. It makes you wonder how much of what still scares us today is really just unmapped water, waiting for someone to read it. The sea never stopped being dangerous. It just stopped being unknowable, once enough people were brave enough to keep sailing west. That captain eventually turned his ship around. Somewhere else in the world, someone just like him kept going and made it home. Ancient humans didn't fear water. They feared the not knowing. And that fear only ever ends the same way understanding always arrives.